because we got news out there. Kmart, D'Amico Ryan's announcing that Stefon Diggs has a torn ACL. He is out for the season. What more can you tell us?
Well, this is huge news, Greeny, because consider this. The Texans are currently without Nico Collins. I do understand that Collins is coming back in a week or so. They do expect him to be back. But this is huge because while Nico Collins was out, they were relying on Stefon Diggs, not just as a leader in that locker room, but also helping out on defense, talking to those guys, and on the field with his production. So no Stefon Diggs, and now we've got Tank Dell and obviously Joe Mixon are going to have to carry the load. And
they play tonight against the Jets in a game that, as was pointed out a moment ago, the Jets are somehow favored.
Tomorrow.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. I've lost track of my days, but that's
it's been a long season for you. It's okay.
That's a whole other thing. But anyway, let's talk about the Texans. They lose Stefon Diggs. If someone were to say they were a Super Bowl contender with him, are they no longer a Super Bowl team without him? Would that be factual or infactual?
Yeah, that is fact. I mean, that is fiction.
It's a fiction.
Fiction. Yeah. This is still a Super Bowl team. And when you think about what Tank Dell and Stroud have done before, they'll have to find that form. When Nico Collins comes back, you heard Kmart just talk about Joe Mixon and his impact on this offense. The biggest concern, honestly, for the Texans is protecting Stroud. Yep. And if they can protect Stroud, he will make teams pay. And honestly, it's not just the offensive line. It's receivers knowing where to be on blitzes and him seeing it and not hurrying his timing.
I want to keep this one quick because I have a few other notes to get to. But just for Neek and Hawk, when we make a list of a short list of teams you could see coming out of the AFC being in the Super Bowl, is Houston on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no question.
We put them there. This injury does not change that. Okay, fair enough. Kmart, let's go to the next note. In that same division, the Colts benching Anthony Richardson in favor of Joe Flacco. Talk to me.
All right, so checking in with the sources last night, I'm told the decision had nothing to do with his comments about being tired and having to tap himself out the game. The reality of the situation is he hasn't been playing well this season, and this is the problem in the NFL, where you've got to develop rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, but also win. And the Colts right now, based on that division, based on the talent they have, based on the fact they have Flacco, they feel like, hey, let's start the veteran, but we're not giving up on Richardson.
Jeff, you are our Colts expert. You know the ins and outs there, obviously, as well as anybody. You have a skeptical look on your face. What?
Yeah. Just the whole thing. The tapping didn't have anything to do with it, and I think it had everything to do with it. And I think we talk about that talent equals tolerance. That's not the truth. Success equals tolerance. They don't think he's playing as well as he should be playing. That's why he's getting benched. The problem for me is the Colts are in a bad situation. This is a replay. Aging quarterbacks coming in to save the day. The guy only played 12, 13 games in college.
Yes.
You knew development was the cause. He's played 10 in the NFL. Just don't. It's quick. It's quick.
I hate this move. I saw it when it happened yesterday, and I thought this makes sense because I looked at Anthony Richardson's stats, and then I looked at all of his passes from the last 3 games, and he's on track as far as a rookie quarterback is concerned. There's some really ugly plays, but there's some really impressive plays, and that receiving core is not catching some of those deep balls. So, yeah, he needs to get better, but completely moving on from him seems a little bit premature.
I hope he views this as a reset and not a failure. But when you look at the tape, and, they might say it's not because he tapped out, but that is a microcosm of where he's at on a maturity level. And you have 52 other guys on this team. Development is super important, but the other guys in the huddle have to feel like they have a chance to win. It is early in the season. They're at differing parts of their career. I've been in a huddle with a young guy like Johnny Manziel who was not ready to play. And there was nothing more demoralizing that. He understood that. We understood that. So, again, for Anthony Richardson, view this as a reset and not a failure, and you can bounce back.
The thing that makes me mad is that, and I went back all through all my notes because I did that draft, literally every single person said this kid needs to sit and learn and develop. And what did they do? They started him week 1 of his rookie year, and this is how this league chews up and spits out young quarterbacks. I have no idea if his destiny was to be a great player or not, but I know they have not set him on that path. Kmart, let's go to the last note here because this could be the biggest one. The Ravens trading for Diontae Johnson, bulking up their receiver room. What can you tell us?
Would it be the biggest move? I don't know. So Diontae Johnson goes from the Steelers, then he's a Panther. And guess what? Now he is a Raven. Is this the thing that puts the Ravens over the top, though, Hawk? Time will tell. But you have a Ravens team that literally is saying we are going all in a way that some teams aren't. So they've got to move. They made a move before the trade deadline. And now you've got Zay Flowers, Diontae, and a host of other weapons.
Well, here's my question: is can he rush the passer? Because
Amen.
Their defense has been
Is
the
this the move
issue.
that's going to put him over the top? No. Like, I mean, it's a nice addition.
Not only that, but you guys were expressing some concern in our meeting this morning. Not that he isn't a fine player. That's not what we're saying. But that this could actually wind up working in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I think the concern is that this moves the Ravens back towards 11 personnel and away from running the ball as much. I don't think Diontae Johnson, the addition of Diontae Johnson, is the type of player that you redesign your offense for. So I hope that doesn't happen. They need to stick with what they're doing. But I think he's great for depth. That's one of the scary things. You get into the playoffs, someone's going to go down.
Right.
And you have a proven receiver that can step up, and there's a little drop off. That's where this is valuable. But what the Ravens really need to be doing is figuring out somebody who can beat one-on-one pass blocks and get pressure without them creating these blitzes, putting their into secondary in one-on-one situations.
I do think this makes them a favorite in the AFC.
You would think it's a big addition?
I do. They definitely need a pass rusher, no question. But what Diontae Johnson provides to the offense is a man beater who can separate a lot faster than Rashad Bateman. Bateman's a solid receiver. And they're not doing, like, to your point, this isn't Devontae Adams. They didn't make this trade to say, man, we need to salvage and save our season. They are already a really good football team and a really good offense. This is a move of optionality. This is a move of luxury that deep into the playoffs, deep into the season, teams can't pigeonhole them into one way of playing. He's a separator. Zay Flowers is a separator.
You know who else was a separator? Hawk. It sounds like a Hawk. Hawk see himself out there and was like, hey, you know who can win your Super Bowl?
who's a separator?
Like
where I'm at, right?
Separator, Derrick Henry. Give him the freaking ball and get out of the way. And get That's how Baltimore gets to the Super Bowl.
Number one rushing attack in the league. And this is if it is a situation where we are splitting time with he and Bateman, I'm good with that. You start putting 3 wide receivers on the field. Let's not forget how they lost the AFC Championship game. They ran it 6 times. They threw it 82% of the time. Everybody loves shiny toys, bro, until you start getting hit in the freaking mouth, and it goes back to Chiefs defense. Can you beat that? You don't beat that going. You beat that by going. You got Likely, you got Andrews, you got Henry, you got Lamar Jackson, and you go ground and pound, and then have big plays down the field.
They have
Look at
champagne
Detroit.
problems now. It's like now they have a lot of mouths to feed. But think about when the season first started. We were like, okay, how are they using Derrick Henry? Like, why is Derrick Henry, like, they're not using him enough. And then the Ravens finally got back to what they're supposed to be doing, and you see the Lamar-Derrick Henry tandem working. Now you add another receiver.
Yeah, because when they pack the box, because clearly everyone knows Derrick Henry's in.
What do you say receivers care about? What do receivers
winning
care
football
about?
games.
What do they care
I'm a
about?
winner, Jeff. That's what I care about.
Care about?
Don't
Let
lie
me
to
hear
the
this
American
here.
people.
This one's blocked. What's
The greater good of the team, Jeffrey, Saturday.
Yeah. Bring me that noise. Bring me that noise come January.
A receiver cares about 2 things: me and my money.
Preach.
And it's that simple. The bottom line is, you know what he helps with? Because if their defense gets into a shootout, if their defense can't stop somebody and you get into a shootout, maybe that's what they need. Let's start in Houston. What are we watching?
Yeah, no Stefon Diggs in Houston, so Nico Collins is going to be even more important. He has to get back to where he was before he was injured, which is a top wide receiver in the league. I love doing comps. And if you're wondering what kind of receiver is Nico Collins, think prime Josh Gordon. Everyone wonders what could have been if he would have stayed in the straight and narrow. That's what Nico Collins is as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I like it. Give me a rookie everyone should be paying attention to.
Keon Cole. Look, no, if you guys have been paying attention, but over the last 3 weeks, Keon Cole has developed from a rookie into what feels like a third-year vet. I mean, he is recognizing coverages, he is making big plays on the ball, and he's going off script in a way that looks like he's been playing for years with Josh Allen. It's going to be very important down the stretch when they're going against Amari Cooper.
And he's blocking dudes in the big,
blocking
baby.
dudes, yeah.
Let him know.
Let's go.
He was showing Amari Cooper where to go that first week. Finally, give me a veteran wideout in the NFC East.
The model of consistency, Terry McLaurin, right there in Washington. Look, he comes in with the rookie sensation as a quarterback. They are working to get their chemistry. They clearly figure it out, and he has been a huge reason down the stretch of this season of why Jayden Daniels has continued to play so well. He has always been great. His leadership is what sets him apart, and now they're talking like they're real contenders in the NFC.
They call him Scary Terry, and yesterday he had a lot of praise for his rookie quarterback. Listen.
He's the ultimate competitor. I think, when we took that tough loss to Baltimore, I was looking at his eyes. That boy was fuming. And I love that because that's the kind of person I am. You don't want to be somebody who accepts losing. Just his ability to make all the throws, his charisma, his confidence, and just the work that he puts in. He gets better each and every week, and you rarely see him make the same mistakes twice.
That's from K Show. So, okay, here we go. I'm looking for a big statement out of you today, Foxworth. What is it you want to say about Jayden Daniels?
He's the MVP of the league. I mean, if we talk about who has been more valuable, he took this cursed franchise that no one expected anything of. That defense was terrible. We saw what Caleb walked into and said, that's a great situation. Poor Jayden Daniels going to be with Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, a couple of coaches who we are not, celebrating, and he goes and takes his team from 26th in EPA per game last year to first in the league. They're the best offense in the league. They are winning their division, and they're a legitimate contender in the NFC, all because of one person. You cannot split up this pie of credit amongst a bunch of different people. It's pretty clear. You go watch those games, and they're not babying him. We see so many good quarterbacks, or so many young quarterbacks have good first seasons, in part because they're being protected by a great defense or a great running attack or one really impressive standout receiver. Not that Terry McLaurin's not good, but he's not A.J. Brown. What we're seeing out of that team is almost all Jayden Daniels. He's the most valuable player in the league right now.
Jayden Daniels for MVP. Do we buy it?
I do not buy it, but I love it. I love it. I'm a fan. And I got emotional when he was talking. I feel it. You know what I mean? It's like hometown. He's on it and feeling it. I'm going Jared Goff. And why am I going Jared Goff? 9 yards per attempt, 70% completion rate. You know the last person who did that? It was back in 1989. You know that a Taylor Swift song, right? Joe Montana. And by the way, the last 5 weeks of the season, his QBR is 155. You know what perfect is? 158. The dude is absolutely torching the league. They scored 50 points in 3 quarters last week. I know some of that was special teams, but this offense is insane. Jared Goff, who got pushed out of one team, goes to another team and has resurrected his career and looks like an absolute MVP.
They are toying with people. Kmart, you're sticking with Lamar.
I am sticking with Lamar. I don't want to be like Domonique, a prisoner of the moment. I just,
Prisoner of the moment.
It's just,
Shots fired.
You know what I'm saying? But in defense of Jayden, I actually thought the Commanders were going to be good this year. I didn't know Jayden would be
No, that's not
this
defensive
good.
defensive
you.
Yeah, true. No, it's just that I'm a genius. No, but to me, people
not
take
this
the
good.
pushback with Lamar being MVP. It's like, his running back could be the MVP. The Ravens, if you watch Lamar, he is just uniquely special. What he's able to do, they don't get anywhere without him. So to me, it still remains Lamar.
Here's what I would say in this, and that you could. All of these are reasonable candidates, and we're halfway through the season, so the most important stuff hasn't happened yet. But MVP in all leagues tends to be sometimes a narrative award, and the narrative here is Lamar's had great seasons. Let's see what he can do in the playoff. You know what I mean? Right. I think that what Jayden Daniels is doing is so unexpected. He has completely turned around the fortunes of an entire franchise. I kind of buy it.
He is a legitimate MVP candidate. I completely agree because of exactly what you said. We don't see rookies play this well this season, and this is from the preseasons. Like, we talked about this same thing in the preseason with this guy. But when I look at Lamar, to your point, yes, he's won it a couple of times, and he has upped his game to even another level that we did not expect. And that in and of itself feels like that narrative is built. He's on pace for 4,500 yards passing, 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 1,000 yards rushing. He has 315 yards a game. That's 35 more than any other quarterback. Yes, Derrick Henry has helped him, but if you remove Lamar Jackson,